Russia's use of national security and public safety laws to suppress dissent against the war in Ukraine has intensified to unprecedented levels, according to a recent warning from Mariana Katzarova, the UN's independent expert on human rights in Russia. In her report to the UN General Assembly, she stated that in the past 3 years thousands of people have been imprisoned on politically motivated charges such as treason, espionage, extremism, and terrorism. Many of these cases involve fabricated evidence and closed trials, with detainees ranging from minors to elderly citizens. At the same time, newly leaked internal polling has revealed a dramatic shift in public sentiment. A confidential survey conducted for regional administrations ahead of the 2026 elections shows that 83% of Russians are exhausted by the war, and 56% want it to end immediately, an increase far higher than in previous years. Support for continuing military operations has dropped to around 23%, even though the Kremlin continues to publicly insist that the country remains united behind the so-called special military operation, according to RFU News. The findings highlight an expanding divide between official propaganda and the private frustrations of ordinary Russians. President Vladimir Putin still expects his forces to seize all of Donetsk region and has reportedly set deadlines for February 2026, while top officials maintain hardline positions. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov continues to say that demilitarization and denazification remain essential, and Dmitry Peskov claims Russia wants peace only after achieving its original goals. The surge in anti-war sentiment is not rooted in a sudden ideological shift, but in the cumulative strain the war has placed on society. Russia has suffered enormous casualties, and the population is grappling with inflation, declining wages, and a wartime economy that funnels most national resources toward the military. Many Russians now feel that the conflict has made its way back into their own towns and cities, particularly as Ukrainian forces strike targets far from the front lines. This sense of fatigue is spreading into the military itself. Communications among senior officers, cited by RFU News, indicate a growing belief that the war has reached a political and strategic stalemate sustained largely by Putin's determination to avoid admitting failure. Some high-ranking officers privately acknowledge that ending the war would save countless lives, yet fear the consequences of speaking openly in a system that severely punishes dissent. Prominent Russian military analysts have also begun to argue more openly for negotiations, warning that the country can no longer achieve its initial objectives. Years of losses have depleted the army to the point where maintaining the current rate of operations for several more years is becoming impossible. The result is a widening rift between society and the Kremlin, and the armed forces are increasingly showing signs of the same internal fracture. After nearly 4 years of fighting, Russian casualties exceed 1,000 men per day, and the challenge of replacing them grows more difficult with each passing month.